So my friends, WWE Smackdown was in London, United Kingdom last night, which of course is where I live, and some people said, Simon, why didn't you go? Well, it's because I am professional wrestling myself this weekend, so I had to prioritise, which sometimes happens, but what a wonderful position to be in. Also, I've seen the arguments on the internet. It means my opinion does matter, so hooray, I've won. And the big question, or should I say reaction, coming out of SmackDown is, should WWE finally turn Cody Rhodes heel? And my answer is... no, of course they shouldn't. This is the second time I've talked about this today, but I'm happy to get into it. You cannot base a heel turn or a face turn or any kind of major turn off a European crowd. I am often in European crowds, and as you see once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year, we will do whatever the flub we want. We will do football chants, we will boo certain people. Sami Zayn got booed in the main event because this crowd had decided, well, we want Ilya Dragunov to win. It wasn't based on characters or what they wanted the future booking of the show to be. It was just, he's our guy. He's not our guy. We're going to go crazy. I mean, Chelsea Green gets pops everywhere, but she got a humongous pop on this night as well. It would just be throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Now, should we eventually turn Cody Rhodes heel? Of course, because the fun of being a wrestling fan is seeing a wrestler play both the good guy and the bad guy, something NXT deliberately does. They can say, oh man, let's see how you do operate on both sides before you do get called up to the main roster, but it has to be earned. Not necessarily so much in NXT. I think you can have more fun there. But with your tippity-top scar, which is what Cody Rhodes is, some people want to deny this because they love Roman Reigns, which is perfectly fine. But it's the same with Roman, right? It was earned to turn heel back in, 2015, 16, 17, and we didn't do it. Maybe earned is the wrong word there, but we should have done it. You felt it in the air. This is what we should have done. And while some people want to see Cody turn, I don't think it's a universal thing. I think you would be throwing away what could be one of the biggest moments in wrestling because you want to do it eventually. Sometimes... this phrase has obviously been bastardized, excuse my language, but you do have to let things play out and you do have to wait for the right occasion. And also, halfway through Cody Rhodes' promo, he was so passionate, he did turn the fans back. So here is essentially the deal. I think you do need to talk about all these 3 things together. Drew McIntyre comes out. Again, he plays the babyface before falling back into a character. It was really, really fun to see him do that. Drew McIntyre deserved this moment, giving everything that happened when he first became the champion in the pandemic. Thank Flubbins, he got to go to the United Kingdom and go on this World Championship tour, even if he lost at the Royal Rumble, which I don't think he's going to do. Drew McIntyre deserved it. He'd earned it, so that was awesome. He tells Cody Rhodes, haha, no rematch for you. I snuck it into the contract. Out comes Randy Orton, out comes Jacob Fatu, who chases away Drew McIntyre, just to remind you what happens last week. Then yes, later on the show, here comes Cody Rhodes, and he says, maybe I've got complacent. Maybe Drew McIntyre is too good. Maybe I'm leaning too much into a structure here. I come out and I say my catchphrase, but I didn't just want to be the WWE champion. I wanted to do this with you, the fans, and we were connected at the hip. He talked about WCPW, which popped me because I was essentially part of all of those shows in a backstage capacity and sometimes on screen for about 3 milliseconds. And I got speared once on camera. That was fun. And also, Cody was just the man. I'm just going to throw it out there. He was so nice, so helpful. You couldn't ask for a better human being. But he was fully leaning into this when he also called out Jacob Fatu and declared that he's going to enter the Royal Rumble and try and be only the second guy in history to won 3 times, the other person being Stone Cold Steve Austin. And by the time he had called out Jacob Fatu and put him over, saying, man, the first time I saw you was on this independent show, and you were absolutely brilliant. Oh my gosh, it was just, that's why he's gotten to where he is. It was pure fire. It did make him more of an interesting personality. Okay, he's a babyface, but there's not heel tendencies there. There's Edge, not Adam Copeland. He went to AEW, and you heard some of the fans be like, oh man, Cody, you're our guy, and they popped massive for his entrance. So I think they were just having fun with all the rest of the nonsense, as they were last week in Germany, because they wanted to see a title change. Let's boo Cody, and we'll cheer Drew. But even if more people do start booing, this presentation was fantastic. It got you pumped for the Royal Rumble. I now want Cody to win. Goodbye comments. People are so mad at me when I said that the other day. I don't think he will, but like I say, he got me so riled up. I'm like, man, I'll run through brick walls for you. He got over the fact that Jacob Fatu is a menace, and we'll talk about part 2 about that in just 1 second. It did everything it had to do, especially because he just lost the WWE title. You needed a promo like this, and he didn't even care. Well, he cared, but he moved on as soon as he could have done from the fact, all right, fine, no rematch. The Royal Rumble's right there. I will try and break history because, again, it's only been done with one guy. I don't feel like I want to boo this man. Again, I remember the whole Roman Reigns thing, be like, turn him. Please just turn him. I don't think we're there with Cody whatsoever. I think it would be a mistake to do it right now. Unless you have a great story, of course. It's like that's the reason we changed the Drew McIntyre belt, why we switched it to Drew, because WWE believes they have a better story to tell, and that should always be the way. So if WWE comes up with an awesome story and Drew has to lose it already, you should do that too. I mean, you have to be careful with that because you don't want to hot potato the thing. But it should always serve the narrative. And at the moment, I just think Cody Rhodes is a guy that's trying to not find himself again, although you could say that based on what he did say here. Either way, I thought it was great. I thought it was awesome. The heel turn will come, and I think it'll be way more obvious than it is now. So unless you do come up with a swerve or a turn or something that just makes people go, oh man, we don't need another John Cena situation, which I think most people have come out now and said, oh, we did it for a moment. It was a truly great moment, and I, for that, am thankful because I had such a good time on that day. I was doing backflips, but you can't get away with it twice. So when you turn Cody, he needs to come out and have a promo. It's like, oh man, you know, it's because of X, Y, and Z. He doesn't have that right now. So once again, I go back to my stupid phrase, let's earn it. But on this night, Cody Rhodes, man, the reason he QB1, I regret saying it, but it's still true. So yes, Jey Fatu Part 2, he wrecks Kit Wilson, who was great on this show. He beat up Mark Cardona after Matt Cardona lost to Trick Williams, and Trick Williams got recepted like a superstar here, which is very, very cool. And then Kit Wilson continues entrance, cuts his promo. Let's push this Kit Wilson thing all the way. It's very, very funny. He understands his role. He'll do something dumb and then somebody will beat him up. You could be in the WWE for 10 years doing that. That's when Jey Fatu appears behind him, and Kit was so over, they booed Jey Fatu. But Jey was like, come on, Cody, let's fight. Cody, let's fight. So he was clearly right there backstage because the production guy hit his music. They get into a big old schmoz. The useless wrestling security breaks them up. When from nowhere, we got a graphic seconds later going, oh man, it's going to be Saturday Night's main event, Cody Rhodes versus Jey Fatu. Now, I'm super into that because if you had told me that sort of 2 weeks ago before the steel cage or the 3 stages of hell, I never would have seen that coming. And it's just so damn fresh, and they have a reason to hate each other. My minor pet peeve, and people have already yelled at me on social media, so please feel free to yell at me in the comments. I would have had Jey Fatu, even if it was a throwaway line, just say, and not like this, not like kiddie time with Jey Fatu, but Cody Rhodes, I beat you up in the steel cage because you put your hands on me, because I think you attacked me. Ipso facto, ding, ding, ding. I mean, we didn't mention the attack from 2025 at all. This didn't ruin the show, and it didn't ruin those angles. But I just think because Jey Fatu cost Cody Rhodes the WWE Championship, you just need to hear him say it so you don't start playing games in your own head. Well, maybe it's about this. Maybe Cody Rhodes didn't invite Jey Fatu to a party. And now Jey Fatu is very, very upset. Sometimes, I don't think it's hand-holding, which is what somebody said to me. I just think it's establishing. And listen, there's still time. You don't have to do it on the week after the fact, but I just think it would have been good to do it before you actually announce the match itself. Once again, Jey can just say, you put your hands on me, Cody, when I was beating up with Drew. Nobody puts their hands on me. That's fine, because it certainly plays into Jacob's character, who is totally nuts, but I don't want to get too bogged down on this, because the brawl was great. I never thought I'd see Cody versus Jey Fatu. That's a match drowning in jeopardy. But now Cody isn't the champion. He could lose again. And then where is he? Then what does he do? Maybe that's why he turns heel. Maybe this is planting the seeds. He goes on a bit of a losing streak. He gets to the final 2 of the Royal Rumble. He's not able to do it. So he's like, you know what, screw this, man. I'm going to go heel in order to win that World Championship back. And that's a reason to do it. We've talked about that here on the show too as well. The show. Like I'm on television. When somebody turns heel, if they do it because they want a championship, 99% of the time they got to win that title. Otherwise, they just threw their life away from nothing. I mean, what a mug. You got rid of all your morals and it still wasn't able to achieve your goal. But these were 2 great segments, even though I threw some bugbears in there. But again, you can ruin everything if you overanalyze it. But super good, super interesting. Drew was fantastic as well, selling Jey Fatu like he was a serial killer. It's 2 thumbs, and I think it all comes from that WWE title change. Justified. And of course, we have our final 4, if you want to call it that, for Saturday Night's main event. It is Sami Zayn, who had another great match with Ilya Dragunov. Just watch it, it's fantastic. We have Damien Priest, who had a very fun match with Solo Sikoa, which has now become about stealing lanterns. Well, that's what the MFTs and the Wyatts are doing. The Wyatts turned up in this, and we had a big schmoz, and Damien Priest took advantage of it before Uncle Howdy got the lantern back. And then Talatonga reappeared. He'd been ejected and he got the lantern back. I was like, that poor lantern. It just wants to light the way. But anyway, I forgot what I'm talking about. Sami Zayn, Damien Priest, Trick Williams, who beat Matt Cardona, which obviously I think is a big old win because Matt Cardona's only just come back, and Randy Orton beating The Miz in the first match. The Miz needs a new finisher. The Skull Crossing finale got no reaction because nobody could believe it was actually going to win because it never does. Super interesting 4-way. Of course, I predicted that Solo Sikoa would sneak through because he could then take the pin at SNME. I presume that Damien Priest does it. I think Sami Zayn will win. I can't see Randy Orton losing unless Trick Williams screws him over. I can't believe that WWE want to beat Trick so soon. Obviously, I've got Sami winning, so it kind of just leaves Damien Priest there. My worry is he's going to lose due to Aleister Black, which scares me because we cannot go back to that feud, but we'll wait and see. But I like the fact there's actually more jeopardy in it, and all the matches were good. I would say Sami versus Ilya Dragunov was probably the best of the four. Maybe some of them were a little bit by the numbers, but I also think I'm being unfair because you don't need to go crazy here. We are building to something bigger. But I like the story. A lot of people have said it's a bit lazy because we just did a bunch of multi-man matches, but I enjoy the people that have got to round 2, and I've just convinced myself, whether I'm right or wrong, that it is going to be Drew versus Sami when we get to Saudi Arabia. Given the crowd and given the fact that Saturday Night's main event is in Montreal, that's just a wonderful curve at the start of the year for Sami to ultimately lose and then redo that whenever for the WWE title with Sami Zayn winning it, I would suppose, even if it's a short title reign. But I liked it. That's all I've got to say about it. I thought it was good. The highlight of the night was definitely the US title open challenge when Carmella Hayes took on Leon Slater. We all knew this because Leon Slater magically wasn't on the TNA show anymore. But who could get mad at having such a wonderful opportunity? He was great in this. They all were great. They could do a best of 7. I thought it was so fantastic. And Leon missed his 450 senton thing. So Carmella Hayes hit not the OG cut, but a super, I don't know what you call it. The same cut off the top rope that he beat Ilya Dragunov with, or at least used. And he got the 1, 2, 3. And obviously they embraced afterwards. Leon Slater will be out of TNA and in WWE soon. He's 21 years old. He'll be the world champion before he's 30. He's going to be a tippity top star. He's just brilliant. This was awesome. I was happy we were doing it, especially because it was in the UK. I can't remember what I've talked about this now because I'm recording this at a funny old time because, again, I'm about to fly to Scotland for Discovery Wrestling. But just in case I haven't, I'll say it again. Jordynne Grace destroyed Chelsea Green. And that was good. Fair play to Chelsea for always understanding what needs to be done. If we're trying to get Jordynne over as a monster like we did in NXT, she needs more of this. But the feud with Jade Cargill is just weird. It's just really changed. Jade watched the whole match and Jordynne beat her and went, oh man, why don't you get in the ring now and have a fight? So Jade went to have a fight. Chelsea then went to attack Jordynne. She missed. She hit Jade Cargill and then Jordynne Grace kind of just threw the title at Jade Cargill and people booed Jordynne Grace because once again, it was United Kingdom crowd and we're totally nuts. There's nothing wrong with it. I would say look at how Trick has been presented and look how Jordynne Grace has been presented, and both have mentioned world titles. I'm glad that Jordynne Grace got to talk, and I think she's brilliant, by the way. She's going to be fine regardless. It just needs more. This is the second time I've said this today, so forgive me. I can't come up with what that is. Maybe it's presentation. I mean, Jordynne Grace's music's a little bit like generic creator character on WWE 2K. That's not the issue here. But maybe it's lots of small things like that. I just think she could be presented better. And I think she's better than WWE is making her out, although she still comes across as great because her in-ring work is awesome. I don't know. But ultimately, I should be so excited with Jade Cargill versus Jordynne Grace, and I am, knowing about their careers outside of this feud. But looking at the feud itself, the moment it's not for me. Now, that doesn't mean I'm right. It's a 52-week-a-year program. Not everything can be for me. That'd be totally insane. So I'll wait and see, but I would like a little bit more. Totally lost my mind when I found out Kiana James and Julia are now in the tag team division. They're part of a number 1 contender match next week. They did lose to Charlotte Bliss, well, you could call them that, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, which even weirder, they're in that match. Maybe I misheard. Let's hope that I am. You know my bugbear with this. Julia is the US championship person. What's wrong with my brain? Don't record videos halfway in the morning. She should just be defending that. Charlotte and Alexa had a conversation about this because Charlotte obviously was absent last week. Charlotte was like, why were you going for singles titles, man? We're a tag team. I've turned down a load of singles opportunities. And this is when Nia Jax and Lash Legend came in and said, you can't trust Charlotte Flair. We are definitely going to break Charlotte and Alexa up. I would imagine that's the WrestleMania match. That's okay. They've been together for ages. And bravo for WWE for not pulling the trigger too soon. Essentially, though, Lash and Nia jumped them after the fact. It was Alexa Bliss that won with the sister Abigail. And then it was Julia who wanted to fight Nia Jax. And Kiana James was like, no, don't fight her. Why? There's no reason not to do this. But again, at least the women's tag team division is full of teams. I would prefer it wasn't a team that had never won and barely had been together and one wasn't a singles champion. But I'm going to be patient here because I don't want to jump the gun. But I do think we're heading for I think the Royal Rumble is going to be super cool for Charlotte and Alexa. But they're putting the time to this. So if you do want to split them up, I don't have a problem with it at all. In fact, I'm quite excited about it. What are we calling them now? Like Alexa Charles or Charles Alexa? I mean, how would you pronounce it? It's Bliss Fairly. Like Bliss Fairly. We should call them that. This is why I've never been part of WWE Creative. Who also had a bunch of stuff with Fraxium, who are now just double teaming Johnny Gargano because Tommaso Ciampa has left. I don't think anything else major happened. A lot of it was a lot of promos between the people that are going to be in that four-way. Like we're doing Trick versus Damien Priest next week after Damien Priest said, I don't like you, man. You talk too much. Once again, shout out to Matthew from Botchamania. So there were a few foibles on this episode of SmackDown, but it is the third one that's been 3 hours. I think it's the third one, 2 or 3. And WWE is doing a way better job than this than they were sort of this time last year. Maybe it wasn't so far into doing it, but there was definitely a period in 2025 I was like, oh my gosh, 3-hour shows are absolutely killing me. But I did enjoy myself, and maybe because it was the crowd, and Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso I thought especially were awesome, as with the Drew McIntyre presentation. And I think when you get your tippity top stars right, it kind of does sort of bleed downhill as well. So yeah, good, decent SmackDown. I think Drew McIntyre being the champion has made it feel fresh. And that's what you want, especially at the start of the new year. It may have completely changed WrestleMania plans too. Quite clearly, Jey Uso is going to be part of a massive WrestleMania match. The way that he was being treated here, but that's awesome. There was a moment where I was like, oh, is Jey Uso, not is he any good, but I was like, is he going to be able to handle himself here? Then he cut a promo, I was like, it was like a 1 second thought. I was like, what am I doing? Okay, he's so good, and he's so believable. So I'm very pumped about this. Thumb. Now, like I say, please do leave me a comment below and let me know how wrong I was. Otherwise, I'll never know. That's what the comments are there for, I think. Like the video, share the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Click the video on the screen, which is who needs to win the Royal Rumble, which actually ties into this video. It's not who you want to win the Royal Rumble, who you think should win the Royal Rumble. Look at LA Knight. He needs to win the Royal Rumble. Otherwise, what the flub is he going to do? I mean, I don't think he's going to be in the Rumble. Different video. We've already done it. Please do also go to patreon.com/Simon316 to support me there. Grillmine.com/Simon. Use my code Simon to support me there. Best fitness supplements. Otherwise, I wouldn't promote them. Simon316 on social media, and then search for my name on TikTok and Cameo and Pro Wrestling Tees if you would like to support me for merchandise, videos, or other such madness. I appreciate you, my friends. If you are coming out this weekend, do say hello. If you're not, chill out. Have a lovely couple of days, and I'll see you next week.